everybody, happy Friday and welcome to another episode of How to Paint and Stencil with me, Greg Swisher, coming to you live from Ramsey, New Jersey, the Cutting Edge Stencil studios. We've been talking about tile floor projects. We've gone over it from soup to nuts. We started maybe 3 weeks ago talking about how to do it on existing tiles like this, but we've brought it down onto the floor here to our old cement floor in our studio. I've done some repairs and I base coated it in some flat Navajo paint. We like to stencil in flat on flat. You get great adhesion, fast dry, and all of your durability comes from your top coats. So we'll put a nice water-based top coat on top, and that will protect your artwork. Okay, let me quickly recap. Tile floors. The reason we do these is because we don't want to go through the demolition. We don't want to pull our toilets out and our sinks and our vanities. We don't want to hire contractors and have them come through the house. We want to do this ourselves, and with what's happening in the country right now, I would say it's a perfect time to stay home and get creative. Okay, so just to recap, what we do is we clean our floors very good. We get the grease off. You can use Dawn soap, you can use TSP. You just need to clean it nicely. Then you give it a light sand. You're breaking the sheen so the paint has something to grab into. Then, as I've been talking about, we use Stix primer. This is awesome stuff. It does what it says it does. It does stick. So we put a couple of coats of Stix primer on. Now we've got really good adhesion on our tile. Now we put our base coat down if we're going to have a color other than white. In this case, it's Navajo white, and we use a flat paint because we want to use a flat paint on top because flat paint stencils best on flat paint. When you use glossier paints, it slips and slides. The paint has an opportunity to bleed more. We're looking for quick dry so we can move our stencils so we can move quickly. And speaking of moving quickly, I'm going to bring it down on the floor here in a second. I just want to finish talking about the stenciling here with the flat paint. We top coat in a water-based top coat, such as, stay with me, a Varathane, something like this. It's going to give you great durability. I would do 2 to 3 coats in a bathroom or a kitchen, and use a dense foam roller or a pad, and this way you'll get a smooth finish. But let's bring it back down here on the floor. I want to show you this corner. We've been messing with this floor down here, and so this is what we've done. I showed you how to bend the stencil last week so the pattern appears to continue underneath the baseboard. This is the look of a professional job. You don't want that 1-inch halo around the perimeter that you didn't get to because you didn't know how to do it. Well, I'm showing you how to do it. You bend the stencil, you use your fingers, and you press it in. So right now, I'm going to do a double right here, and then we're going to deal with the corner. The corner's always the trickiest part. So I'm going to grab my double Santa Ana. This has been sprayed with a little bit of spray adhesive on the back. It really helps in this case. You don't need that much tape if you're using the spray adhesive. These are the registration marks here. If you can see these extra cutouts outside of the tile design. That's going to give me an opportunity to line up with these pre-stenciled areas, these areas that I stenciled previously. So when I come down here, I'm going to line those up. As you can see, hopefully you can see that. You see how I line this up here? And I'm going to line this one up. I'm going to slide it, get it in place here. There we go, and there we go. So, once you've got it lined up, as you see I do here, press it down and start to bend it into the corner like this. Bend it into the corner. And look, you can see the stencil is very cooperative. It wants to bend into the corner, and you can get pretty much almost all of that without even pushing it in with your fingers. Now, we're going to come over here. Look, I've recycled my paper towels. I love to recycle. We've got our Ben black paint. We've got our old used dense foam roller. I'm going to load it nice and evenly, preventing striping on my roller. by loading it like so, then a few back and forth on the paper plate, and then what? We offload it. By now you guys know. We offload on the paper towel, and now we have a relatively dry stencil, dense foam stencil roller. This is really the only rollers you should be using for stenciling. Okay, so I basically got this pretty tight. And look, I'm pushing the roller right in. Look at that. Just comes straight in. And look, I've got 90% of that edge done. Now, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take my beautiful, professional Cutting Edge Stencil stencil brush, boiled and flagged bristles. I'm going to come in. I'm going to dip just the tips into the paint. You see that? Brush is clean otherwise, just the tips. I spin the brush. This was last week's question. This is called paleting the brush. This equally distributes the paint into the tips of the bristles. I offload the brush. There's your loaded stencil brush. Nice and clean. My hands are clean. Everything's great. So I come in here. I'm going to bend. Can you see me? You come in and you push with your finger down a little bit. And then using a vertical pouncing method, straight up and down, you come in and you fill this in. And this is how you get into the edges, into the corners. And you can see. Now look, you're going to get this 95% of the way there with this technique. Then, when your floor is done, your project is done, you're going to grab a little touch-up brush with your paint, and you're going to go around and you're going to finish these designs where they don't go exactly underneath, where it doesn't appear to go underneath the baseboard. But you can see how easy this is. I hope you can see. The angle's good. And we're going to get 95%. We're just about there. And whatever we don't get, we're coming in with a small brush when we're done. Push that down a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to call that done, because I know that I can come in and do my last few touch-ups. So I'm going to peel this off, and you can see I'm already so close to having that complete. So I'll place this over here. Now, we've got this tricky corner. What makes it tricky? You want to do two bends. Now, I can take a regular stencil, and I recommend that you buy more than one of these stencils if you're doing a project like this, because you're going to be bending them, and probably at the end of the project, you're going to be cutting one up to get into these tricky areas. So if I come in and I place this, I'm going to show you with this one, but I'm going to actually do it with another. So I place this, and look, you can actually manipulate the stencil and get pretty much 90, I could probably get away with using this. But I'm going to show you another little trick here. I would probably not cut my stencil if I didn't have to, but here's what I did with this stencil. I took this stencil, and I just put one little cut here, right where the corner is going to be. So I'm going to place this stencil. This is going to allow me to bend it much easier. And I place this, and see how it folds around? Look at that. Drops right in. So that just makes it a little bit easier to get that corner. It's not all buckled up. So I'm going to come back with my roller, try to evenly load it, quick offload, nice and dry, back over here, and we stencil. dense foam roller straight into the corners. Straight in this way, and then straight in this way. You can see it's doable. I know it seems like it would be really tricky, and it is a little tricky, but you do a couple corners, you're going to have it. Okay, I'm going to call that in, and now I'm going to come in with my stencil brush. And I'm coming in here, getting right to the edge, slightly running out of time here, everybody, but I'm going to pull this off. And you can see I am 95% into that corner, and I would do the rest of the touch-ups with a small brush. Check this out. Check this out. How does that look? I think it looks great. So, boy, I don't know if I have time. I don't think I do, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in. Grout line stencil right here. Line it up with your grout line. Place it, come in with your grout color. In this case, I'm going to use 1600 Benjamin Moore gray. I'm just going to lightly pounce the grout line. Now this completes the illusion that this is a actual tile floor. And you can see how quick and easy these grout lines go. And these are free with our stencils. All right, so the answer to the question, look at that. Is that awesome or what? It's beautiful. And you just continue, okay? All your durability comes with your top coat, okay? I've been teaching you that flat paints, which are not the most durable paint, are the best way to stencil, but your clear coat, top coat, is where all your durability is coming from. And okay, happy Friday. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great one.